Hey guys, today I wanted to do an introduction to another game that I've been having a lot of fun with, and that is Battleborn. Ever since I played it last year, I've been waiting for it to return because I had a really good time with it, like an abnormally good time with it. So what the hell is Battleborn? Battleborn is a first-person hero shooter slash action game. There are, as of now, 25 different characters, ranging from melee characters like Pve to ranged gunfighters and bow users like Whiskey, Foxtrot, and Thorn, to magic users like Arendi, support characters like Umbra, and tanks like Montana. If the art style reminds you of Borderlands, well, that's because it is developed by Gearbox, and I'll say that you can expect some similarities of a few elements in the game, namely the humor. It is very Gearboxy, as you'll expect. The characters are very diverse and incredibly well put together. Battleborn will feature both a single-player slash cooperative campaign or set of episodes or missions to go complete, along with a few multiplayer modes. The story of Battleborn, in short, is that there is only one star left in the universe, Solus, and you need to make sure the bad guys don't destroy the universe. The story episodes can be played solo or with up to 4 other players, 5 total, with 2 difficulties, normal and advanced. You can also turn on the hardcore modifier to add an extra challenge, that challenge being if you die, you're out until the mission is complete or your team fails. In the early access build, it took about 30 to 40 minutes to complete an episode, although I don't anticipate this changing too much, if at all. You can queue by yourself, you can launch with friends, or you can matchmake with other people. Over the course of a mission, you'll have plenty of things to kill and items to collect. Random treasure boxes and loot caches contain various items like overshields, health restoration, cooldown reduction, or even bonus credits or score for your team in that mission. At the end of the mission, you'll get a score and a corresponding medal. Your high scores and medals, along with a few other things, are all tracked if you want to go back and look at your past achievements. Every time you play a mission or a multiplayer match, you are going to gain experience that goes towards your levels within that specific mission or match, which I'll call game level. The max game level you can hit in a mission or a multiplayer game is 10. The Helix system is the way you will be leveling up your character throughout an individual match. Every level, you get to choose one of 2 options for your character to increase their stats in some way, whether it's a buff or a modification to a skill, a flat bonus on your character, whatever it might end up being. Then, as you level your character rank, which I'll explain in a minute, you'll unlock additional options in your Helix. So instead of 2 options, you might have a 3rd option to pick from, this new option being called a mutation. Your Helix resets every mission or multiplayer match, so every time you start a new mission, you can pick a new set of Helix upgrades. This gives you a nice freedom to spec differently each match depending on the episode that you're doing, the mode that you're playing, or the enemy team that you're fighting. Battleborn features a pretty hefty progression system. You have your individual game level, which I just mentioned, but then you also have command rank, which is your overall level as the player, and you have ranks for individual characters too, both command and character rank happening outside of a match, while game levels occur within an active mission or a match. You gain command level whenever you play and gain character rank whenever you play with that character. This experience is received after you complete a mission or a round of multiplayer. You can level up to 100 in command rank, and each character can rank up to 15. When you reach certain levels on your character ranks, that is when you unlock additional Helix options. Reaching milestone ranks or completing character-specific challenges also unlocks things like new character skins or taunts. So you have 100 command ranks, 15 ranks for 25 characters, so you're looking at 475 possible ranks to level up, not to mention tons of other challenges, although most of the challenges revolve around killing things, playing modes, playing games, grabbing items from loot caches, etc. You'll start with a few characters already unlocked, but to unlock new Battleborn heroes, you have 2 options. You can either reach a specific command rank, which is done by just playing the game, or you can complete a specific challenge to get that character faster. For example, to unlock Umbra, I could reach a certain command rank, or if I win 5 times as a Genuit character, I can unlock her faster. Each character comes with their own set of challenges, lore challenges, and you can look at your stats per character as well. Shards and Gear are a big part of the Battleborn experience. As you level up and play missions, you'll unlock gear and loadouts. Gear comes in a very wide variety of stats, ranging from bonus attack speed, reduced recoil, bonus shards per second, bonus healing power, healing received. There's a ton of it. A loadout can contain 3 pieces of gear. So the ideal is that you set up multiple loadouts and pick one depending on the character or class that you are playing. If you're playing a healer, maybe you boost your healing power. You're playing a tank, maybe boost your health or healing received. If you're playing a spellcaster, then get some skill power. You can also buy packs of gear, additional gear slots, or loadout slots in the store for credits that are earned by playing the game. To activate these pieces of gear, you need shards. Shards are placed in certain areas of story missions and multiplayer modes. Here's what a big shard looks like. You hit it a bunch, it breaks, you pick up all the little bits. Shards also come in smaller forms. As you collect shards, you'll be able to buy your gear from your loadout. You need to actually activate the gear, otherwise it's not going to do anything. But the better your gear is, the more expensive it is. So do you run with cheaper stuff to activate it faster for better early game, or do you get the good stuff but have to wait to activate it a little bit later because it costs more? Gear comes in your typical rarity colors, white for common, green for uncommon, etc., blue, purple, orange. In story missions, it's not too difficult to gather shards, and you'll often end up with a lot, but they can also be used to buy things like turrets, snares, or little bots that follow you around. We'll talk about shards in multiplayer in a minute. Let's talk about competitive multiplayer. As of this video, Battleborn will feature 3 modes: Capture, Incursion, and Meltdown. Capture is a very simple mode. There are 3 capture points on the map. The more that you hold, the more points that you get, and the first to 1,000 wins. There are a lot of buildable things on the map, like turrets and accelerators, to help you hold those points. Here's where the shard scenario gets a little tricky. In competitive multiplayer, you'll likely need to fight to gain control of the areas where major shards spawn, these major shards giving the most amount of shards. You'll be getting less shards in multiplayer, so you have some decisions to make. Do I spend it on my gear to make myself more powerful, or do I spend it on a turret or a buildable that will help out my team? It's not always a simple decision. Not to mention that building something also gives you experience, which is pretty important, so building stuff helps your team and your level, while building gear helps your stats. Incursion is where each team gets 2 spider bot sentries, where the first to destroy the other sentries wins. There is one major lane right down the middle, with a few side objectives sprouting off to the sides. There are buildables to build, shards to collect, but now in this mode, you can also hire mercenaries. Each side gets a mercenary camp with one big dude to kill. Once you kill the big guy, the thrall, step on the plate where he was to capture it. Once the plate is captured, the thrall will join your team until it dies. Then, in the middle of the map is a camp with 2 thrall, so as you can imagine, gaining control of this area and contesting this neutral camp is a pretty big part of the mode. The mercenaries can soak up a lot of damage and can help your team push into enemy territory. Not to mention that 2 major shards are right next to the neutral mercenary camp, making control of this area even more important. The spider bots have shields and a lot of health, and can also annihilate you really quickly if you are targeted. In this case, you can think of them as a tower in a MOBA, except way more deadly. Finally, we have Meltdown. The goal is to feed your minions into these giant robot mouths, which are on the enemy's side of the map. The enemy is trying to do the same thing, so it's a battle of trying to kill their minions while you get your minions into the robots. There are 2 major lanes on this particular map, with turrets in the middle of each lane, a heal station towards the center of the map, 1 on each side, with 3 major shards around the middle of the map, and 2 major shards, 1 on the left and 1 on the right of your team's side. Hit 500 points or score the most points in 30 minutes to win. At 250 points, the front robots will close, and you'll have to escort your minions even farther to score. You'll need to balance fighting the enemy, fighting enemy minions, and collecting shards and building things all at once, which makes for some sometimes hectic gameplay. Alright Datto, you may be thinking, this sounds well and good, but devs and publishers are always looking to nickel and dime us. What's up with the DLC? Well, we got a bit of free stuff, and we got a bit of the paid stuff. First up on the free stuff will be the addition of 5 new characters that will release after the launch of the game for free for all platforms. This is great because you never want to have the player base feel like they need to buy a hero who might be really good in order to stay competitive. In fact, for those of you playing on PS4 who play the open beta, coming April 8th for PS4 and April 13th for Xbox and PC, you'll unlock Alani as she is released instead of having to go unlock her, which is pretty nice. Of course, all updates to the game will be free, so balance patches and whatnot, as they should be. Battleborn will also be receiving free multiplayer modes and maps as they are created, as well as other select features that might come to the game. The paid stuff comes in the form of story operations and additional skins and taunts. Each pack, of which there are currently 5 planned, will cost $5 and comes with a story operation and a currently unknown amount of skins and taunts. A season pass is available for $20, so you save $5, or if you buy the deluxe digital version of the game for $75, it'll include the season pass at a discount of $10. However, the most important thing is that these packs, at the moment, do not appear to impact multiplayer gameplay at all, unless you count how cool you look as impactful on gameplay, which you should because you gotta look good to play good. I haven't seen the option to buy gear packs with real money. I don't think it'll happen, not saying it couldn't, it could, but I don't think it will. At the moment, there doesn't appear to be any evidence of that happening. If you're gonna have DLC in a game like this is probably one of the best ways to go about it. No impact on gameplay, cosmetics only, so good stuff there. So that is your, as brief as I can make it, rundown of Battleborn. Welcome to the thoughts portion of the video. I absolutely love this game. I love it. Ever since I played it last year, I have been desperate for it to return. The Pve modes are fun. Advanced mode is actually hard with hardcore on. You need to pay attention. Things get hectic during wave-based combat. And the best part is that you have 25 to be 30 characters to choose from. So you can play the story missions over and over again and change it up every single time. If this game does ever come out with a horde mode, I think it'll be fantastic. The missions can feature wave-based combat in a section, but each mission is a fully laid out mission. The characters have such a wide variety of personality, none of them play similarly at all, none of them really act the same either. You have Orendi, who is this crazy little burst mage, literally crazy, insane. You have Wrath, this super ruthless killer. You have Benedict, the redneck bird with a rocket for an arm. They're all super well varied and super independent of each other, which is awesome. I will say that it is very overwhelming to get into if you know absolutely nothing about the game, but you've been watching this video, so you are a little bit more informed. Learning the multiplayer maps and learning where the objectives are is a very key feature in being able to do well in the game, like most other games. Take some time to play against bots, learn the maps, learn a couple of characters, then dive in. If you just jump into the deep end first game, you're going to be horribly confused. Hell, I didn't know what shards were for about 4 hours when I first started playing last year. Like I said, I had a ton of fun with this game last year when I was able to play it. Been playing the early access, and it's only gotten more refined from there. So I'm really hoping the game takes off because the game's really fun, and I would love to make YouTube content on it. Regardless, I'll be playing the crap out of it during the open beta and when the game launches, YouTube content or not. Be sure to come hang out in my stream during the beta if you're interested in learning more about the game or are looking for some sick Orendi gameplay. I'll try to have a character guide up and some tips for the beta the day before or the day of the beta so you know what to look out for. When the full game comes out, it'll probably be my second full review of a game on this channel. Battleborn versus Overwatch is undoubtedly a question on many of your minds, even though I don't think we should be comparing them, but that discussion will have to wait for another video. That being said, I do love both games a lot. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, positive rating would be pretty nice, and I'll see you guys next time.